Welcome to the ally attack meta for Hydra. What's up guys, MtgJedi here, how you doing today? Pretty excited about this video for you guys. We are talking about ally attack in Raid and how prominent it is becoming as a feature of the game, as a feature of some of the most powerful teams you can make. It is really a wonderful meta defining ability in the game, and I want to break that down for you today. I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, recently I have been including more and more ally attack champions in my Hydra teams, and that has led me to growing my damage considerably. Tomorrow, I'm going to be posting a video on my Brutal Hydra team that's really a spotlight on Lady Mikage, and all of that got me just thinking about how most people can improve their damage in Hydra. That's a big focus right now, and one of the biggest things that's been on my brain. You know, I love building Hydra teams and improving the damage and coming up with new strategies. That's been basically my favorite thing to do in Raid. If you've been hanging around the channel for any amount of time, you know I've been posting a lot of videos on that. So here I have selected the ally attack champions that I have on my account. I do have most of them. I want to say that I'm missing a couple important ones, like the orc chick, because I can't pull orcs for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't remember her name off the top of my head for whatever reason right now, because that's how my brain works. So but she's very good. I'm sure I'll think of it like halfway through the video. But basically every ally attack champion is good and could be fit in your Hydra team, okay? Because the more damage you put, the more easily you're going to be able to kill the heads. And I'm going to show you that today with a very free-to-play friendly build, even including the gear, guys, okay? And then also I have some other endgame builds as well. If you have watched my other Hydra videos, you know that I've been including champions like Lanicus and Cardiel for a while now. When I did the Hydra draft with Deadwood Jedi, Cardiel was one of my first picks. He was really at the top of the list because he is so amazing. And I'm not saying that all of you have Cardiel, but most of you have Farrakhan the Fat. And although they're not, they're not the same, like Farrakhan is very good. And Lanicus, I've been including a lot as well because of her buff extension. Now that we have Lady Mikage as an option in the game, she should go into a lot of teams. A lot of teams. She's so good, guys. Make sure you come back to the channel tomorrow to watch that video on her and see some of these other strategies in action. Now, one of the things that you need to sort of fit in on your account in your thought process is, where are you in the game? If you don't have Lydia, then you should probably be working on a team like I'm going to show you for the free-to-play, very accessible, mid to early, mid-game team. And that's right around when you're getting Lydia, or before or after, right around the time where you would get Lydia. That's a team you should be able to make. Number two, if you have had Lydia for a while and you've been farming and, sort of trying to work your way into the end game, you've been working on the Ramontu missions, then it's probably time for you to fit in someone like Lanicus, Lady Mikage into one of these more end game teams, okay? Now, the other thing I want to say about all of this is related to the Hydra chests, okay? I know that a lot of people just want to do Nightmare because, number one, it's like a status thing, and it's an achievement and a milestone that you want to be able to do. If you can one key Nightmare, then obviously you can do a lot more damage on the other difficulties. But I just need to tell you that the difference in the rewards is so minimal. It's so minimal. If you can't hit Nightmare Hydra, do not feel bad. This week, I'm not going to hit Nightmare at all. I'm going to hit normal, hard, and brutal because I'm going to get more points for Hydra Clash by doing that. And I care more about the points in Hydra Clash than I do about the rewards from the Hydra chests. And depending on where you're at in the game, I think that that should be your mentality as well, because these accessories, these rewards from the Hydra Clash are way better. They're way better, guys. Please do not sell any of these accessories. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it until I lose my voice. Never, ever sell an accessory from Hydra Clash. It doesn't matter what it is, because it will get used on your account eventually. That is my opinion. I feel very strongly about it. So, when we're talking about this ally attack strategy, this is the team that I'm going to be breaking down and showing you in tomorrow's video. This is the brutal team that I created for this week as soon as I got Lady Mikage. This video on Lady Mikage was supposed to get posted a couple days ago, but we had kind of some more important things to talk about, like Xena and all of these other champion pass and, all this stuff. Anyway, this is a great example of an endgame style team focused on damage and less survivability. Whenever you're making a team, okay, let's come back over here and we'll make a team. Whenever you are making a team, you need to decide where on the spectrum of survivability do you want to start. And a lot of that has to do with how much damage is in your team. If you think you can only put like one main damage dealer in there, like Newt or Artak or Geomancer, if that's where you're at, then the majority of your decisions should be to keep that team alive, because the longer you can sustain the fight, the more damage you're going to do. So you'd be relying on champions like Duchess or Arbiter or some other type of revivers and healers. Mythral is great in lots of teams, but she is not necessary in all teams, okay? And she's great if you need a little bit more damage and a little bit more survivability, because she provides all of that. She adds the Hex, she adds the buffs to keep you alive, all of that stuff. I mean, she's an amazing champion and well worth getting, okay? But once you can survive, basically however long you want, as long as you can make your survivability, then you want to move backwards or forwards, depending on your thought process, and put more damage in the team. So what does that look like? Okay, let's navigate over here to normal and take a look at the normal team that I'm going to recommend today that I'm very excited about. This is the normal ally attack, normal blender that I want to showcase today. Now, I don't know that this is going to go to the turn limit or anything, because I didn't want to use crazy gear. I wanted to use very accessible gear. So, Shamail and Sinacia and Skullcrown and Ugo are all in a very accessible builds. The three of them are in almost all 5-star gear. Bearkin is fast in my normal build for him. I didn't want to mess that up. Artak is in a random regen build that I'm working on for Ice Golem that has nothing to do with anything right now. It's not good enough for hard Ice Golem, and it's not relevant to like survival or anything in Hydra. Okay? Now, one of the things you can do also is put cursed sets in your team. So when we're going to go use this, the Ugo build that I have is in a cursed set. And I think putting someone, even if it's a bad curse set, like if you look at the stats on this, like she doesn't need crit rate or attack. This is completely irrelevant to her build. This is just a bad shield that has a couple of okay stats on it. This one's alright, but we don't even need this accuracy for normal. This one is okay, but like you can see like the gear is not good on her, okay? It's just really not. I put very mid-game gear on her, as I did for like the Skull Crown and Sinacia as well. And like they're in Savage and Cruel sets to get some damage in there, but you can see like all 5-star gear except the banner because I didn't have a 5-star banner left. But these are the type of builds that you can make on your account. You should be able to get to 5,000 attack. You should be able to. And if not, then get to 4,000 or whatever it is. 232 crit damage is very accessible. You have Savage and then a broken set. Attack percentage boots are definitely going to help you get there. Okay? So, for the early game build, what we want to focus on is more damage. All right? More damage, more damage, more damage. If you want to do more damage and you don't like this idea, putting Inquisitor Shamail and basically any damage dealer and then structuring your team around that is a really good strategy for Hydra. It is part of this strategy as well, but it's also, you can build a more normal Hydra team that way. One of the things that is also great about these ally attack champions is that a lot of them have attack buffs. They're increasing your crit rate, your crit damage, your attack percentage, all of these things, and that's going to also lead to more damage. And so you can start to build your champions with 70% crit rate or under 100% crit rate. You can see on one of my builds, it was like 93%. I couldn't decide whether Farrakhan was going in the team or not. But you can even run this team full auto, and it's going to do decent damage for you. So let's see it on full auto. Obviously, if you're manualing it, you're going to get a lot of damage as well. Probably more. And I don't know, for whatever reason, this does not want to land debuffs here. I don't think that we're like particularly weak affinity or whatever. Oh, I guess Ugo is. Okay, never mind. That makes sense. And what you're going to see here is that we're boosting Skull Crown's turn meter. She's not doing insane damage because I don't have her in insane build. And then Farrakhan is going to ally attack with Sinacia, Skull Crown, and Artak. I also was working on a different variation of this team with Arbiter in here for some revives. Same thing with Rala. If we wanted this team to be like super survivable, we would put probably somebody in a Guardian set to protect our team. Because if you don't land block buffs on the Head of Wrath, he's going to wipe your team. That's one of the reasons why I ended up adding Artak to this team, is because he lands the block buffs really well. And no, he lands the decrease attack. I got up in my head there a little bit. He lands the decrease attack, which helps with the survivability. But once we get into the fight and the heads start respawning, then it gets kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like, can't really predict when we're going to use our abilities if we're not manualing it. Now, I highly recommend you manual your Hydra runs, but that's not for everyone. Some people find that to be a miserable experience, and that's completely fine. I'm going to come in here and pause this, actually, because we're almost dead, and I want Sinacia to equalize the HP, and then I'm going to hit auto again. Now, that I have Sinacia's A2 and A3 turned off, so she only does the A1. And Skull Crown works really well with Ugo here. Skull Crown's going to be landing the weaken, and Ugo is going to be doing the decreased defense. You can also put Lydia in the team. Like, these damage dealers are not specific, that just work well on normal. And you can see it took about 2 minutes to get to the 1 key. It's a 100% 1 key as far as what I've tested it. I didn't do like 100 runs or anything, but I did a bunch of runs. And so when you're trying to build this type of team, these stats that I have on these champions are very, very accessible. You can see here we got our block debuffs cleansed, which is a problem for the Head of Wrath. We might wipe here. But typically when I've run this team, we've gotten over 20 million damage, which I think is pretty good for a lot of players. I think is pretty good. Ugo landing the Hex, adding to our damage here. And maybe we want to come in and equalize the HP with... Nope. Okay, so as you can see there, no block buffs, and the Head of Wrath still killed us, okay? But I think for a lot of mid-game players, 9 million damage is a good improvement for your normal team. And this is probably not using champions, you know, from other teams. You can also put a Reviver in here. Like I said, I was using Arbiter. But, you know, the damage pretty split. Inquisitor Shamail doing 1.4. And then Senacia, Skullcrown, Artak all doing 2 million. Now, if you want to build a more traditional team, Artak can do really good damage. If you have him, he should probably be in one of your teams, especially if you want more damage. So, that is the free-to-play team, okay? The next team I wanted to show you is that Brutal team, and mention that. That one has been really good, but you do have to watch out for some things there. It can wipe mid, or it can make it all the way to the turn meter, either way. The next team I want to show you is how can we apply this as an endgame build, and that's what I'm going to be running as my hard team here. This is the strategy that I'm using for hard, okay? And last week, this got me over 1 billion damage on hard, which I was really, really proud of. That's very difficult to do for a lot of players. So we have 2 ally attack champions in here, Cardiel and Lanicus. We have Krisk in here and Terrace both to extend the buffs. Lanicus is going to extend the buffs as well. Hervold is our main damage dealer here, but obviously Terrace is going to do some crazy damage. And Draco is the most underrated Hydra champion. Draco, comeback, 2024. I mean, it's 2023. But either way, I think that this is a great, great team. And you can replace some of these with other people if you want to. And before we wrap up the video, I'm going to show you the damage potential here in the first, like, I don't know, 10 turns, so you can see how much damage this does. Obviously, I'm not going to do a full run for you. That'll take an hour and a half. But I'm going to show you one more team that really showcases this ally attack as well. Let's jump in here and see this in action. I don't know whether I have the setup or not. I love Lanicus's buffs. And then Cardiel, I have in 9-piece protection, which is amazing. I don't need to provoke because we don't have a cleansing head out here, and we don't have decreased defense and weaken up yet. So let's A1. And the goal of this team is not only to use the ally attacks, but also to keep the buffs up the majority of the fight. Then we'll do the ally attack here again. And then hopefully we'll kill them. And on turn 1, we have already done 4 million damage plus Terrace. Popping heads now. And then it's going to be just a huge damage fest here. We're going to cycle back around to our abilities, and we're going to really do some crazy damage here. I think I just want to boost until we can get decreased defense and weaken up there again. His A1 can do 1 million damage per hit. And his A2 can do over 2 million damage per hit. So let's cycle back through and get all of the damage. Draco can do 1 million on his A1. Yeah, Paris can do 1,000,000 on his A2. It's just a very, very damaging team. High potential. And then you can take extra turns. You just want to make sure that you have all the buffs. So here's without decreased defense, 1.8, 1.4. And I've showed this in some other videos as well. And then an ally attack here. I was really trying to get Draco in there to show off his potential. Kill this head. And then Draco's going to do decreased defense. Beacon. And then these buffs back up. And let's A1 right here. Almost 1,000,000 per hit there. Okay, Terrace. Draco. Over 1,000,000 right there. Let's ally attack. And you can see that we're at a really high damage count already on turn 8. Okay, here's the last thing that we're going to do today on this team. Boom. 1.5, 1.8. And on the weaker heads, like, if you're, I don't know where we could see, like, the list of the heads somewhere. But on the head of Mischief, you're going to do over 2,000,000 damage per hit with my Turvold build. On the head of Fear, what is his name? I forget. You're going to do over 2,000,000. And so this team is just going to pump out damage. This is like the most end game version of this team that I can come up with right now. So anyway, let's regroup here. I'm going to get the other team together, and then we're going to come back and show that to you as well. All right, so the last one I want to mention here is my dude, freaking Madman, who I'm very excited to start messing around with. I want to try him in my Trunda team, which that would be this one down here. So actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me put him in there for next week. And then this is the team right here, new team number 6, that I think would be great for a lot of people, or something like this. Okay, obviously I haven't tested this team, but something like this, okay, where we have Madman or a second copy of Madman. I think that secretly Fushan is amazing for Hydra for the same reason Madman is, like the A1. And so if you want to see a video with Fushan and Hydra, please let me know in the comments below. Your clan boss builds probably will just work. For if you have him for Myth Fu, then you can just like throw him in a Hydra team similar to this and be successful. We got like Hex and shields and stuff from Mithrala. We got the ally attack from Lady Mikage. We got the new Kaja for some revives in case Madman dies or somebody else, you know. And she's going to do another copy of Cleanse. So we have 2 cleansers for the Fear Head. She also is just really good with the turn meter boost and the cleansing. And then Nia can reset the cooldowns on the ally attack or the revives. Well, not reset, but lower the cooldowns. She also has the decreased speed that we're looking for. Kaja doesn't do increased speed. That's the one thing I really wish that she did, was increase speed. That's kind of something that we're missing here. But this team would probably do tons of damage in normal or hard, right? So these Madman ally attack strategies, or using other champions like I've shown you, I freaking love my Brutal team. It's amazing. I'm going to continue working on that. I would love like a Sulfurion or a Supreme Gallic in place of Tunisia here, but she's amazing as well. So like so many great options right now for Hydra, and there's so many cool things you can be doing. So what do you think about this ally attack meta? Let me know in the comments below. What type of things are you looking for Hydra? What information do you need? Is there something else that I can make a video on and help you guys with? Just let me know these things in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.